and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been like 7 months, but I'm back and my hair is a different color and still completely unruly. Look how terrible these bangs are. I have basically essentially the same haircut, just blonder. And honestly, I was watching my last video again and hold on, I'm just gonna adjust you a little bit. And I think I like it better. Like, honestly, I never thought I did until recently. Like, I thought that I liked the red better, and I was very unsure about the blonde, but I kind of like it a little bit better, except that it is still ridiculous. I recently tried to do, like, the curly girl method, where I'm trying to get my hair, like, curlier or, like, wavier or something, or because my hair is just a poofy mess, and it's not really doing it, but I've only just started it, so it's fine. It's fine. I'll get over it. Anyway. So since I saw you last, the last time I did just a random rant about Disney, like a straight up like why I love Disney rant, and I'm back with another one of those, kind of. So since I saw you last, I went to Disney twice, like literally twice, like I had no idea at the time that I'd be going once, let alone twice, and yet I've been there twice. Like I went to Disneyland Paris and I went to Disneyland California. Both of which were incredible. The first trip I went to was Disneyland Paris. At the time that I filmed the last video, which was about 7 months ago, I kind of knew I'd be going to Paris. Like, I was saving up at the time. It wasn't a definite thing. My sister and I were planning it, but I had no idea we were going to Disneyland Paris. Like, it just kind of came up last minute. Like, our goal was to go meet Jean Vanier. We work for a company called L'Arche, and we really wanted to meet him. And also just to go to Paris. Like, oh my gosh, I wanted to see the Eiffel Tower so bad. And I did. It was awesome. We went twice to see it, and we just, like, walked around. It was wonderful. I'll make another vlog on that if you want to hear more about Paris. It was incredible. But Disneyland California, I had literally no idea. Like, soon after coming back from Paris, I was just, like, texting my sister, and I was like, oh, I want to go somewhere warm for my reading week, because I'm in school still. I have a reading week in February. Or had, because I already went, and I was like, oh, I want to go to Florida, or, like, somewhere warm, and, like, I didn't mention Disney at all, and she was, I think I said I wanted to go to, like, Mexico, or Hawaii, I think, because I really want to go to Hawaii, and she was like, why don't we go to Florida? I was like, well, if we're in Florida, we should go to Disney, and she's like, yeah, that's what I meant, and I was like, you're joking, right? And she's like, no, I'm being serious. And so we were going to go to Florida, and we were going to go to Disney World, but then we were looking, and it just so happened that California was a little bit cheaper, so we decided to go to California, and we went to Disneyland, and it was awesome. It was so great. It was cold. I didn't know it would be so cold. It was like, we're from Canada, so we go in Celsius, but it was like 10 degrees Celsius most of the time. So Paris, we went just one day, because we were also in Paris, so we just wanted to spend time in Paris. And it was just like an afterthought. Excuse me. And then, but when we went to California, we made an actual trip to go to California, Disneyland. And so she went for 4 days and I went for 5. That was not the right amount of numbers. She went for 4 days, I went for 5. Because I happened to have a little more time and I just wanted to stay an extra day. And it was awesome. I ended up staying not a whole day, but like most of the day. I left at like 5 p.m. But it was great. It was awesome. And so, about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I think, I did the Disney tag. But at the time, I'd never been to the parks. So today, I want to do the Disney tag! I wish I'd rewatched my last one, because I don't remember what I said the last time. But I think one that I want to experience would be... Oh, there's so many. I made tea a little bit ago. Like, it's over here. And I was going to bring it out and drink it, but I'm not like a big tea drinker, and so I was waiting for it to cool down a little bit. This is my Robin Hood mug, which I absolutely love. But it made me think about tea, and so I kind of want to experience the Happy End birthday scene in Alice in Wonderland. But also another scene that's coming to mind is A Whole New World in Aladdin, and I think that might be because the trailer came out recently for the new live action Aladdin, which looks really good. So maybe A Whole New World or D, I guess. Marianne Birthday. Those would be a lot of fun. I also would really like to experience flying to Neverland. That would be really cool. Um, yeah, I'll just say those because otherwise I'm going to keep going on a rant because there's so many. It's hard to narrow down. So I had so many great memories at the parks. I had an incredible time. It was amazing. Every moment was great. One that stands out for me though is that we went. So when we went to Disneyland, California, we went to Cafe Orleans and we wanted to try the Monte Cristo. So we were sitting waiting for the Monte Cristo, and we were in It's in New Orleans Square, so like kind of the area that Tiana and Dr. Facilier and like anyone from Princess and the Frog is in. So we were just sitting there, and our seats were kind of on the edge of the outside of the restaurant, like we were sitting outside. And we were right beside this tree. So Dr. Facilier at one point and his cast member walked up and just like tapped on the tree, and he was like, "Yeah, it's good." And then he was looking at our Monte Cristos, and he was like, "Those better not be Tiana's. I don't want you eating anything from Tiana. She's not good." And then we were like, "No, no, no, of course not." And then as he was walking away, I like whispered to his cast member, I was like, "They're Tiana's." And then he like told on me. He was like, "Dr. Facilier, she said they're Tiana's." And then like he gave me the dirtiest look. It was so funny. And then he must have walked around New Orleans Square because they came back again. And he was like, "Oh, you again." And then the cast member was like, oh shoot, what did he say? He said something really funny. But it was just like it was really funny because like it just like was very unexpected. He was just walking around, wandering around. He happened to be talking to us. It was so funny. And it really made me like him more. Like Dr. Facilier was never, oh my leg, cramp. Dr. Facilier was never really a character that I cared about. I think it's called Here for a Good Time, Not a Long Time by Trooper reminds me of the parks now, particularly Disneyland Paris, and just Paris as a whole, because my sister and I, we only went to Paris for 4 or 5 days, and so it wasn't a really long trip because we didn't really have a lot of time, but I kept singing that song because of our short trip. I broke out into it all the time, and so now it reminds me of that trip. And we went to Disney on that trip, so it kind of reminds me of Disney, I suppose. October 2018. I don't remember what day exactly. I probably should. I want to say like the 25th or something, but I'm not sure if that's true because that was also the temperature of that day. So I might just be saying that. I don't remember what day exactly, but October 2018. Ooh, I do remember this question from last time, and I remember saying this guy because he takes from the rich and gives to the poor, and he's just a generally good guy. Also, I love Robin Hood. It's a really good movie. Also, Robin Hood and Little John are just really good friends, and I adore them. I think they're great. So I think I would still stick with this answer. And then also, this is a weird version of Stitch. It's like the Easter version. I have him out because it's springtime. But I would like Stitch as my best friend. He'd be a lot of fun. He'd be very hectic because he causes a lot of trouble. But I think he'd be a lot of fun too. And you get to hang out with aliens, which is kind of awesome. Snow White and Ariel. They're pretty tied. Snow White, I have a lot of nostalgia for because she was probably one of the first. Sorry, I can feel hair. She was probably one of the first Disney movies I ever saw. Her movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. My mother was a really big fan of her, so I'm assuming that's why she put it on. And I just really like her story. Like, the witch used to scare me a lot. Like, which is a good sign because I really like villains, so it's like really nice that she had such a good villain. And I like how kind-hearted she is, and like she's just an all-around good person, which is really nice. And then Ariel, I love because I also remember there was a period of time when I was younger where I didn't like movies all the way through. Like, I wouldn't put one on if I didn't like want to watch it the whole way through. And so I remember Little Mermaid being one of the few that I wanted to watch all the way through, and so I remember deciding it was going to be my favorite. But then also on top of that, I just love Ariel as a whole. Like, Prince Eric also is the most beautiful prince, and no one can ever change my mind about that. He is the best prince ever. And so that's a good reason to like that movie. Um, but also I just love her sense of adventure. I like her hair. Like, I really wanted red hair for a really long time. I had red hair for a really long time, and it was inspired by her. I like her sidekicks. Like, Flounder is one of my favorite sidekicks. The ending of Toy Story 3, probably. It's one of my favorite movies. Toy Story and Toy Story 3 are especially my favorites, and watching Andy say goodbye to Woody was really, really sad. Yeah. The first Disney movie I remember seeing is either Snow White or Bambi, I think. I don't know if that's true, but one of those two. Toy Story. Toy Story, if you're counting Pixar, which I do, I think it for sure counts. If you're not, then probably Peter Pan. Maleficent, by far. She's my favorite. I love her so much. I just love how she comes and just ruins the party. She's like, I'm not invited, I'm gonna curse your child. Like, that's so funny. And plus, she's just awesome. Like, she is very strong-willed, she's very powerful. She's a fairy, but like a dark fairy, which I think is awesome. She's completely and utterly evil for basically no reason except for the fact she's offended. Like, she has no motive. She's not like trying to rule the kingdom. I mean, she kind of is because she's putting all to sleep, but like, I don't know, she doesn't have like a plan to take over the world. She's just straight up evil, which is awesome. Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast. I say that all the time. I love that song. There are a lot of songs I like. Recently I've been liking Bippity Boppity Boo a lot for some reason, but Be Our Guest I think will always be my favorite song. And yeah, that's it. There's one more that says do a Disney impression, but I'm not doing that. So this is the end of our video. One last break for tea. So thank you so much for joining me and listening to my Disney thoughts and enjoyments. Hopefully I will have another video up maybe next week or the week after about my trip to the parks, because I do want to share that with you. Hopefully it won't be too rambly, and I'll try to insert some clips that I took in the parks. I didn't take like a whole lot. I decided that my first trip, I just wanted to enjoy it, but there are some like parades and night shows that I took some photos of, videos of, so I will share that. And thank you for coming, and hopefully you'll see my next video. I don't know. Hopefully we'll have many more chats about Disney and books. I have a book haul coming up potentially also, so look forward to that. Thanks guys, bye!